This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball. Today from the windy city of Chicago. The road trip continues. It's game number 3 of a 4-game set. The St. Louis Cardinals and the Chicago Cubs. And welcome to our Bally Studios here in St. Louis with Rick Ankiel. I'm Dan McLaughlin. Jim Hayes is with us as well. So, Ank, we saw history last night. Cardinals matching the 1935 team, 14 consecutive wins, and maybe a little bit more history today. Set the all-time record with 15 consecutive wins. It's been remarkable to watch this team play.
It's been absolutely incredible. Nobody in the world saw this coming. You couldn't have looked into a crystal ball and predicted this if somebody gave you $1 billion. But the offense, the defense, the pitching, everything clicking at the same time. Not to mention 3 guys with 30 home runs. I don't know how many times there's been a team where 2 guys hit their 30th on the same day, but that happens.
So let's break it down, 2, 3, and 4. And we're talking about Paul Goldschmidt, Tyler O'Neill, Nolan Arenado. What are you seeing from these 3?
The fact that their pitch recognition right now, they are so locked in. When they're getting pitches to hit, they are not missing it. Look, it's not often that you see 2, 3, 4, and then all the way down the lineup being so hot at the same time. If you're the opposing pitcher, pick your poison. Where are you going to go? Do you really want to go to Paul Goldschmidt? No. Do you want to go to Tyler O'Neill? Well, if I skip him, I'm getting Nolan Arenado. These guys are on fire.
Goldie, 30 home runs. He's driven in 97. Tyler O'Neill had a couple of home runs in the doubleheader yesterday. He's at 31 and 75. And then Nolan Arenado, 33 home runs, and he is driven in 103. So during this 14-game winning streak, the offense and, as you said, Hank, everything clicking, especially in the first innings, and that's been fun. That sets the tone.
Listen, you come out and you're punching guys in the mouth in the first inning before they even have a chance to think about what's happened. As hot as they are, all of a sudden they're up 2-0, 3-0. As the opposing team, you're already defeated. You know, what is the stat when you score first and end up winning the game? It's a lot, so go Cards.
Al Erica back with you, breaking down this streak. That's coming up next on Bally Sports. To left and out of Wrigley. That's how you do it. The 2-2 pitch. He got him, and it's lucky number 13. O'Neill smokes it. Oh, and he knew it. It's gone. Another one. He loves hitting against the lefties. Now Newbar out to right again. Back to back. The 2021 Cardinals have tied the all-time record held by the 1935 team. 14 consecutive
The win streak has been impressive and historic in so many ways. Erica West and Al Roboski back with you. Now, we looked at the September win streaks last night after the win, but here's the longest win streaks in the National League going back all the way to 1920. The Cardinals now on that list with a 14-game win streak in 2021. And Al, a win today, the Cardinals would join these elite group of National League teams to win 15 straight, a franchise mark that has not happened. And they certainly have a good opportunity to do so today with John Lester returning to Wrigley Field.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun out there at Wrigley Field. Lester's going to have a lot of emotions, but he knows he's in a pennant race, and he's been historically one of the best pitchers ever in September. 46 wins at ties for the active lead, of active pitchers in September, and he's on a little bit of a roll right now.
He really is. I'm sure he'll be extra motivated in this one today. But where do the Cardinals stand since the win streak started? Going back to September 11th, first in team average, third in home runs, first in runs per game, first in extra base hits, first in team ERA. Absolutely no surprise. Hey, Al, the Cardinals have been the best amongst the Dodgers and the Giants, who've been the best all season. But this also goes back not just since the start of the win streak, all the way back to August 1st, too. They've been amongst the best in the game, too.
Yeah, they've really played good baseball, but they've really capped off here with this 14-game winning streak. And you can see just, offensively, they're doing amazing things, pitching well, and defense has always been there.
And this guy has certainly been a part of it. More on the Cardinals left fielder Tyler O'Neill when we return right here on Bally Sports. Cubbies coming up in about 10 minutes. Tyler O'Neill, he has been one of the hottest hitters in the game. What has changed in his approach? Rick Ankiel tells us more.
Thanks, Erica. Let's talk about the Canadian Crusher. So one thing that's really helped him and why you're seeing this huge change is he's starting to let the ball get deep. This is a perfect example. This is the home run that he hit last night, the laser beam. It was a 3-0 count, got the green light, deservedly so. But what did he do? You see how long he let that ball travel and get in here? Because he's strong enough to do damage with it. When he gets in trouble, if you go back to earlier in the season, at first he wasn't chasing those balls, but all of a sudden he started chasing some. He started getting out of his front foot a little bit, which was causing him not to be able to recognize the slider versus the fastball. You watch him now, he's got that double toe tap. He gets here, he stays on that backside. That's allowing him to let the ball get deep, recognize the fastball versus the slider, and then that's what you get. He's pointing to the trees. Back to you, Erica.
All right, Hank did that in one take. It was really impressive. Good stuff from him. Can't wait to hear him on the call today. But Tyler O'Neill, red hot in August and September. You see, obviously the numbers looked a little different the first few months of the season. He dealt with some injuries early on. It'd be interesting to see where those numbers were, Al, if he wasn't dealing with those little injuries earlier on this season.
Well, they're pretty impressive right now, and he's really swinging the bat well. And like you said, the power is coming. You know, he's just really coming into his own, and it's really fun to see.
It's really fun to see. Specifically, you mentioned yesterday how effective he has been since he has been moved into that spot in the lineup between Goldie and Arenado. Yeah,
and it just now the three of them are on fire. They're doing that, so it relaxes the rest of the lineup. And now you're seeing, you know, Bader really respond. You know, Sosa was doing it right now. Nootbaar had 3 hits, 2 home runs, and 3 RBIs last night. You know, Paul Young even hit the ball real hard and had a home run and another hit. So things are really happening very well for the ball club right now. Let's just keep it going.
Hitting is contagious. We got to get Tommy Edman in the fun today for sure. All right, first pitch coming up in just a little bit. Back with more after the break. Dan McLaughlin, Rick Ankiel. They get you set right here on Bally Sports.
Card standings in the National League as we begin play on this Saturday afternoon in late September. The Cardinals 5 games in front of Philly, Cincinnati 6, and the Padres are 7. The Cardinals trying to make it 15 wins in a row, and they're going to do that behind John Lester. Lester yesterday at Wrigley Field, honored for his 200th win last time out, and many of those wins were wearing the Chicago Cubs uniform. And now today he'll try to beat them. What has been the success, Rick Ankiel? Where's it coming from for John Lester?
Well, he's an artist, right? And he knows how to make pitches. I thought the greatest thing Mike Maddox says, don't worry about making your pitches better. Let's just make better pitches. That's exactly what he's done. You can't follow a pattern. He's starting to mix it up. Even though you're looking for one pitch, he might go to another. He can throw all 4 pitches for strikes. Good luck with that.
John Lester, Adrian Sampson, Cubs, Cardinals, St. Louis trying to make it 15 consecutive wins. Yeah, young man, we feel you. St. Louis Cardinals baseball on Bally Sports Midwest is brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you. And by Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in the St. Louis area. Find yours at your Mid-America Chevy dealer. A sweep of the doubleheader yesterday, and the Cardinals now have tied the franchise's longest winning streak. And over these 14 games, there's been memorable moments like this in New York. A double play for the ages in extra innings. And a fired-up Nolan Arenado. Lars Nootbaar robbing a 3-run homer. The Dylan Carlson show last weekend in St. Louis in a grand slam. Tyler O'Neill late with a 2-run homer in the 8th on Saturday night. And then the 4-game sweep against Milwaukee. John Lester with career win number 200. Goldie, some key home runs late in games and comebacks. And then yesterday, skipping out of the box was Tyler O'Neill. The Cardinals twice went back-to-back, and a sweep of a Friday doubleheader at Wrigley. Memorable moments and a chance at win number 15 in a row today. Wrigley Field in Chicago. That is the scene on this Saturday afternoon. 66 degrees as the fall temperatures are upon us. Rick Ankiel, Jim Hayes, I'm Dan McLaughlin as we come to you from our Bally studios here in St. Louis. Tommy Edman at the top of the St. Louis lineup. Then Paul Goldschmidt, Tyler O'Neill, Nolan Arenado, Yadier Molina, Harrison Bader, Lars Nootbaar, Paul DeJong, and John Lester, the former Cub, on the mound and a chance to make history for St. Louis. Adrian Sampson, his fourth start, and Rick Ankiel, he'll get the call today for David Ross and the Cubs.
Yeah, look, you can see the arsenal right here, and he's the kind of guy that the guys want to try to work under. Don't try to flatten your swing. The wind is blowing out to right center again. Try to work under the ball just a tad bit, and everything's going to work out. Make sure you get him over the plate.
It is game number 300 for Tommy Edman in his career, and his first game ever was at Wrigley Field. 28 stolen bases, 41 doubles, 10 home runs, looks at a strike, and we are underway in game 3 of this series. Lefty's hitting .264 against this right-hander. And the 0-1 pitch. Fouled back, 0-2.
You see the run in the sink, and that's what I'm talking about. So out of his hand, when you're trying to center ball up, round ball, round bat. When you go to start your swing, you're just trying to stay under it just a little bit because it's going to sink down there and run into that barrel.
No balls and 2 strikes, and the next by Sampson to Tommy Edman. Fouled back. Cardinals have seen Sampson before. Only other time that he faced St. Louis, gave up a couple of runs, 1 earned, 5 1/3. It was in 2019, and at that point, he was a starter with the Rangers. A shift on the right side and an 0-2 pitch taken outside. Sampson, 2 runs in 4 innings of relief. No decision. That was Sunday at Milwaukee. He was the bulk innings pitcher. Keegan Thompson made that start, went 2 innings in his return from the IL. Changeup and a strikeout of Tommy Edman to begin our afternoon. Plenty of home runs hit by St. Louis yesterday, and that included number 30 for Paul Goldschmidt. No doubt about it. And he is 3 shy of the century mark in runs batted in. And during the winning streak, what a difference maker he has been. 6 home runs. The OPS over 1,400. Incredible. And the first pitch, a strike.
Ooh, they threw him a fastball today. They've been just loading him up with breaking pitch, soft pitches all over the place. It's going to be interesting to see what they do. Is it fastball for strikes, or is that really for show, and they're going to just try to hammer the off speed?
The 0-1. Among National League first basemen, Goldschmidt first in doubles. He has 34. First in extra base hits, 66. First in total bases and runs batted in. 172 hits this season for Goldie. And there it is, lined out to left, but making the catch, Patrick Wisdom. Hard hit ball, but right at Wisdom.
Just got in him a tad bit. He couldn't get extended as much as he wanted to.
Sergio Alcantara, late insertion into the lineup for the Cubs. Nico Horner originally at short, Duffy at third, Bodie at second, Schwindel at first, Contreras behind the plate, Wisdom, Thompson, and Happ in the outfield. And Around the Horn is brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers.
I wonder if Alcantara's a little sore today from pitching last night.
Got it up to what, 86, 87 last night?
I think I seen an 88 in there. When Bro Neal was up here, he didn't want to get taken deep.
One of the things the Cardinals have done so well is score first and do it in the first inning as well. First innings, 20 runs they have scored. The opposition only 6 during these 14 games, jumping out to that early lead and setting the tone. O'Neill jammed a bit into shallow right, and a sliding catch. Ian Happ takes a hit away from Tyler O'Neill. The Cardinals go in order in the first. Cubs coming up, and there's no score. John Lester getting the start for the St. Louis Cardinals as he returns to Wrigley Field. Last time out, his 200th career win. That was Monday at Milwaukee. Now 77 of those 200 wins were with the Cubs. And Rick Ankiel, that's a look at his Hyundai pitch arsenal.
Yeah, and take a look at the usage, because this is what he's been doing. You can't really follow a pattern with him, and he can take all 5 pitches, throw them for strikes, use it in any count, and that's what he's been doing. He's been making pitches. Mike Maddox mentioned when he got there, look, let's not focus on trying to make your pitches better. Let's just make better pitches, and he has done that.
The Cubs lineup today, Contreras at the top, and then Schwindel, who's been red hot, 13-game hitting streak. Ian Happ, Patrick Wisdom, homered for the 28th time yesterday. Duffy, Bodie, Thompson, Alcantara, and Sampson for Chicago. Lester, in his last 8 starts wearing the Cardinal uniform, is 4-0 with a 2.76 ERA. First couple of games, not pretty, but then changes made, and he has been really good.
And that's a veteran pitcher for you. You know, sometimes you go to a young pitcher like that and you start trying to pitch to things that they're not used to doing, and all of a sudden they get behind guys and not be able to pitch like they want. Ground ball to Lester there out at first base. You see Contreras being very aggressive, swinging at the first pitch.
Well, the Cubs know John Lester as well as anybody. Here's the defense behind him. Nootbaar is in right, Bader in center, O'Neill in left, Arenado, DeYoung, Edman, and Goldie on the infield. Molina behind the plate. Around the horn, presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. I bring that up, Rick, because we've seen the issues at times that John has had throwing over to first. If you know that, do you bunt against him? If you get on, are you running against him? Bigger leads against him?
You know, I always wondered about that too. And then, the one time he took it and he bounced it over there on purpose to Rizzo. But, it's like guys would try to steal and still get thrown out. So I think for me, if you're trying to beat him, you can try all those things. But it seems like nobody's figured out the recipe yet. That's for sure.
Schwindel lines to left and 2 away. The switch hitter, Ian Happ. Ian Happ has really picked it up here down the stretch for the Chicago Cubs. He is 1 for 2 with a double, head-to-head with his former teammate John Lester. 23 home runs. He has driven in 60 on the year. Two outs and nobody on, and the first pitch is a strike on the outside corner. Now, if he gets that pitch, kind of like Happ yesterday, right there on the corner, could be a long day for the Cubs hitters.
He's definitely going to know how to exploit it. There's no doubt about that. And this is a familiar mound and background to him, so he should feel right at home.
0-2 the count. Since August 12th, Happ leading all switch hitters in both leagues. Over 1,000 OPS, and got him to chase, and a strikeout for John Lester. And the Cubs go 1-2-3. Arenado, Molina, Bader coming up. MLB celebrates Hispanic Heritage Month, recognizing the contributions made to our game by the Latino baseball community, past and present. Nolan Arenado, first year with the Cardinals, through 150 games, and that young lady is back. Good to see her. She's been a good luck charm for the Cardinals. And a Nolan Arenado jersey or shirt. It's been a great year. 33 home runs, 69 extra base hits. He's driven in 103. And there are only 4 players with those numbers or better. And this is the only guy in the National League with those numbers. And his next home run will match Scott Rowland and Fernando Tatis back in 1999. Most home runs hit by a Cardinal third baseman in a single year.
And we still got a week to go.
Popped up, taken there by Bodie, and the first 4 have been retired by Adrian Sampson.
You can tell by the way Bodie was backing up on that ball that got behind him that wind's going to be a factor again today. Blowing out a little bit more to right center, but still yet you're going to have to really pay attention to it while you're as a defensive player.
Boy, it really does look windy there. Here's Yadier Molina, double number 400, and there's the wind whistling at Wrigley Field and blowing out. And the first pitch taken for a ball. His next hit will be number 2,111. That breaks a tie with Molina and Rogers Hornsby, all time in Cardinals history. And the 1-0 pitch to Yadi. Fastball and a strike. Molina also 2 runs batted in shy of 1,000 for his marvelous career. And the 1-1. Pop back and foul.
You take a look at Yadi right there. He knew that fastball was in right there. Where he steps, he normally steps. He bailed right there, guessing right, and just didn't get it.
The 1-2 taken high, and it's 2-2. Mike Shilton, the Cardinals, winners of 14 in a row. The 2-2. And Molina hits it in the air out to right. Happ under it to make the catch. This is the first time on this road trip the first 5 batters have been retired by the opposition, and Harrison Bader have a day. Yesterday in the doubleheader, 5 for 7. 2 doubles. He has 9 in the month of September, and that's most in the league.
I love seeing him drive the ball up the middle. I really do. But right there on that double there, you can tell how fast his hands are. That ball's up, not even a strike, and he gets to it easily. Then sends it out for the home run to cap the day. But Cardinals are just getting barrels to the baseballs no matter where they are right now.
He's 9 for his last 15 overall, and there's a ball. Sampson, a winner in his last start, 2 runs in 5 innings. That was back on the 14th of September against the Phillies. The 1-0 inside, 2 balls and no strikes.
So far, Sampson has really been attacking these Cardinals with his fastball.
Come away after last night being shell-shocked. Ball was flying off Cardinal bats. The 2-0 inside, 3-0. You finished up the doubleheader yesterday, and you can't wait to come back to the ballpark with the way that things have been rolling right now for St. Louis. Infectious, the 3-0, and a fastball and a strike. Lars Nootbaar on deck. He homered a couple of times in game 2 of the doubleheader last night. Outfield is deep. They are straight away. A count of 3 balls and 1 strike on Bader. Popped up. Contreras over, and it's out of play near the St. Louis dugout.
I'm interested to see how Lars, what his at bat looks like. Yesterday, the 2 homers. As a young player, sometimes you can fall in love with that home run. Feels good, looks good. You're getting a lot of love on your phone. But how does he come in today? Does he come with a base hit approach, or is he swinging too hard? And we'll see when he gets up here.
Sends it out to right center. Gone! Harrison Bader! 1-0 with an opposite field homer. Number 14.
Have you a day. Listen, you can't do that if he doesn't have the approach of trying to drive the ball up the middle, gets a pitch away, stays through it to the trees. Here they come now. Just exactly what I was just saying. Now Lars just seen a home run in front of him. Let's see what kind of swing he takes when he gets up.
Bader now in a 5-game hitting streak. The Cardinals twice went back-to-back in the ball game last night. Harrison has also scored in 5 straight. 5-game hitting streak, 1-0 Cardinals, and they strike first. Nootbaar snapped an 0 for 23 skid last night. Couple of home runs, showing bunt as they've got that exaggerated shift on him.
Well, that didn't have to be a strike, but you got to love where his mindset's up there. He just seen a home run, hit 2 last night, and he's not up there swinging out of his shoes. He took a pitch down. I thought that was a good take, and now it's like, hey, let me just get on base here. I love it.
And the 0-2 pitch to Lars Nootbaar. Good example of that ball. You get it up into the wind. Now Bader hit it well, but
yeah,
you know, when you're at Wrigley and it's blowing out, no telling what you may see today.
No question. We talked about this yesterday. You know, as a hitter, you almost get up there and start swinging harder. In reality, you don't have to do that. You want to just stay smooth with solid contacts. If you get it up there, it's going to go.
The key to the game with Rick Ankiel.
Key to the game is keep it simple. Exactly what we're talking about. Nice smooth strokes. Don't worry about setting the all-time record. Don't think about the external stuff. Just stay within yourself. Execute swings, execute plays. Play better than the other guy who's playing the same position as you.
Off the plate, and it's 2-2. The Cardinals now with 43 home runs in the month of September. And yesterday in 14 innings they popped 8 home runs. Number 9 of the series moments ago. The 2-2 off the plate, and it's 3-2. Paul DeYoung on deck.
Wow, gotta love the discipline right here. Staying within himself. He's young. He was 0 for 23 before the 2 home runs yesterday. Man, love it.
From 0-2 to 3-2 on Lars Nootbaar as Dylan Carlson sits today.
Worked himself back into that hitter's count. That's impressive as a young player.
3-2, and we'll do it again.
I've been impressed with Sampson's movement so far. In command. He's moving the ball around, but a lot of movement to it.
Cardinals 3 home runs in game 1 yesterday, 5 in the nightcap. First time they had done that since 2018 at Wrigley. Game that Carpenter had 3. 3-2 pitch. And Nootbaar sends a fly ball out to left. Patrick Wisdom coming on to make the catch. Harrison Bader extending his hitting streak to 5. He has also scored in 5 straight. Homered in consecutive games for the 3rd time this year. 1-0 midway through 2. Harrison Bader with home run number 14. 1-0 Cardinals. We check in with Jim.
Danny, as you mentioned, Lars Nootbaar was carrying an 0 for 23 into his 2nd at bat in game 2 last night. He homered, one of his 2 homers, part of a 3-hit night. Newt told me he had plenty of help getting through that dry spell. He said, credit to the guys. They're always keeping me up and pointing out the positives, even when it was tough for me personally. To be honest, when you're on a 14-game winning streak, it makes everything easier. Newt said the way these guys are swinging it, you're in the dugout rooting them on. It's hard not to feel good about everything. Danny, Newt had a night.
Couple of home runs for Newt Bar. Here's Patrick Wisdom, and that's off the plate. 2 balls and no strikes. Wisdom, 28 home runs in 335 at bats. Number 28 was a long one hit yesterday to center, and he pulls that foul. Boy, Rick, how things have changed for the Cubs. No Baez, no Rizzo, no Bryant, and a former Cardinal that spent a ton of years in the minor leagues here in September, now batting cleanup for this club.
No kidding. And for Wisdom, you gotta be happy for him. He spent so much time in the minors, as you mentioned. He gets his opportunity, and he's having a really, really good season.
Tied him up, good pitch, and it's 2-2.
You know, too, with Lester, what makes him tough is because he will backdoor that cutter so much to a righty. Is anything that starts on the outside of that outside part of that plate or just off, you're thinking it's going to be the cutter. It could be anything else running off. Well, then you have to commit to it.
Three-two pitch. He got him. Took some off it. And the second strikeout for John Lester. Good pitch on 3-2.
Great pitch. Change up away. That's exactly what I'm talking about. That pitch starts out there on the outer half. You always have to be, as a hitter, aware of that backdoor cutter. Starts out there on the outer half. You commit. It's already too late. Change up, strikeout.
20 strikeouts away from 2,500. When he gets there, he'll be the 10th left-hander in the history of the game. 200 or more wins and 2,500 strikeouts. You're talking Hall of Fame territory there.
Yep. Especially all the things he's done in the postseason. Big game pitcher,
no doubt.
Big moment. Oof.
Duffy is 7 for his last 17. Came off the bench in game 2 last night. That's that pitch you're talking about to tie up a righty. I mean, a lot of times what we're seeing is Lester stays away, and they read the at bat, Rick. I mean, Yachty does, Lester does, and they'll see a guy cheating, leaning out, a right-hander, and they bust him right in.
No question. And then once he busts you in, now you have to stay honest in there. So anything on the outer half, you're almost reaching for it, depending on what you're looking for. It's not an easy at bat. He's not blowing you away with the velocity, but it's not an easy at bat whatsoever.
Lester, 77 games that he won wearing that Cubs uniform in 6 years. Had a 19-win season in 16. That was the championship year of the Cubs. He made 20 starts against the Cardinals as a Cub. He went 8-7. And the teams split those games 10-10.
After the backdoor cutter, I love a changeup next.
Lifted in the air out to left. O'Neill back. Couldn't see it. Over his head as he was trying to shade from the sun, and it looked like Ricky couldn't pick it up.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That's tough because normally he would catch that ball no problem, but you could see he tried to block the sun. As an outfielder, sometimes it gets in the direct line of that sun. There's nothing you can do. Went with the cutter in. It got in there. Duffy with the good swing. O'Neill running back. You see him put up the glove there, trying to block the sun. Just gets stuck and you can't see it.
He's got the glasses. He had the glove up. Nothing he could do about it, so it gets over his head. Now runner at second. And David Bodie, who's 2 for his last 19. The Cubs 2 for 15 in the series with runners in scoring position, and that's ball 1. Lester had some of his best work at Wrigley Field. 93 starts, 40-25. It's a .615 winning percentage. 7th best all-time at Wrigley with at least 90 starts. The 1-0 pitch. 2 balls, no strikes. Trace Thompson on deck. And it's start number 450 in the career of John Lester.
It's a lot of starts.
Whew. A lot. Falls behind here. 2 balls, no strikes on Bodie. As Yachty sets up inside. Gets it there, but too far in. 3-0.
You know, Lester, once you start missing here, you got a guy on second with a base open, 1 out. There's no reason to give in. You can walk him, put the double play in order.
It's maybe what he's doing here. Swinging on 3-0. That caught Yachty, and he's all right. 3-1.
You see Bodie laughing there because it was a 3-0 changeup, and he went out there to get it. He wasn't going to let him get away with a 3-0 pitch down the middle. I think he got a little over aggressive chasing the changeup, though.
The 3-1 pitch, and that is pulled foul. Just foul, and it's 3-2. You got to be quick down there.
You got to be real quick.
113 miles per hour off the bat, and watch out. Whoop.
Watch your lips.
Knowing you, Rick, you would have said charge it.
Now this is a tough pitch right here for the hitter because there is the base open. He can walk you. Lester's going to make you hit his pitch. He's not going to come with something that you can just drive.
3-2. Ooh, and Yachty could not hold on. We'll do it again.
So backdoor cutter. I brought this up earlier. After the backdoor cutter, he's looking for something. The changeup out there right now is a great pitch because he has to respect that backdoor cutter. Sees it out of his hand that it's going to break back on the plate. It may end up breaking away from him. If you commit to it, there's no chance to hit it.
Three-2 again to Bodie. Doesn't chase, and he walked him. While we have a moment, quick word from Victory Men's Health.
You gave me my youth back. Improved strength, muscle mass, and energy.
Thanks to Victory Men's Health, there are more guys feeling better than ever. Join the movement. Visit victorymenshealth.com.
Thompson head-to-head with Lester, 1 for 5. Runners at first and second, and 1 out in the Cubs half of this second inning. First walk issued by Lester. Trace Thompson started game 1, and that's how the Cardinals and Happ were approaching him yesterday. Everything was away, 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 and they started out away and then went further, and he chased.
Just kept opening up the strike zone out there.
And the 0-1 pitch away again. 1 ball and 1 strike. First time since September of 2020 the Cardinals have won 3 straight at Wrigley. They've won 4 overall against the Cubs. Haven't done that since 19. And the 1-1 ground ball left side. DeYoung, a turn, double play. 6-4-3 on the double play. And we're through 2. 1-0 St. Louis. Last night with home run number 18, and he loves hitting at Wrigley Field. He and Newbar went back-to-back. It's time for our Kia player profile. It's brought to you by your local Kia dealers. Highest percentage of hits that are home runs at Wrigley, and Cardinals franchise history. DeYoung, Edmonds, Albert, Scott Rowland, and Mike Shannon. This year he's 6 for 20. And 4 of his 6 hits in this ballpark have been home runs. 41 games he's played at Wrigley. He's got 12 homers.
Cub killer, you gotta love that.
Just something about certain backgrounds, certain ballparks, certain teams. for a particular hitter, and the same goes for a pitcher.
Yep.
Good and bad.
You know, Paulie, we talked about this last night. His balance just looks great. In the home run he hit last night, really staying on the ball. He let that get deep, let the ball travel, stayed back, stayed balanced. Home run to right center. Love seeing that.
We're in the third inning. Cardinals lead it 1-0 on a Bader home run. The 0-2 pitch to Paul DeJong. Taken high. The 1-2. Outside corner, struck him out, and that's the second strikeout for Sampson.
Well, good sinker to the outside. You can see the good movement that has for Paul DeJong. When that comes out of his hand, that looks like it's going to be a ball in the left-hander's batter's box, but sinking all the way back right to the corner. Great pitch.
Nice round of applause for John Lester.
Can you imagine if he hit a home run right?
Boy.
He might get a standing ovation.
Well, this is not his initial return to Wrigley wearing the opposition's uniform. That was back in May with the Nationals. 5 runs in 5 1/3. But it's a different Cubs team. No Bryant, Rizzo, Baez. They were all in the lineup at that time. We've seen that John can swing it a little bit. Inside corner, missed. 1 ball and 1 strike.
That, and if you're a Cubs fan, you know, you got to know, like, but this might be the last time you see him, because you don't know. You don't know if he's going to still keep pitching or if he's in the AL or what happens. You just don't know.
And the 1-1. Lester pulls it to second. David Bodie. And out number 2. So 2 outs, back to the top of the lineup. You can start planning the summer of 2022 now. Next weekend, Shelter Insurance will give 30,000 fans a 2022 Cardinals Magnet schedule. Tickets at cardinals.com/promotions. And right now, for that final homestand, if you're thinking about coming out, get your tickets. You got the Wayno deal. A portion of the proceeds of tickets sold will go to Big League Impact. There are $5 seats, $10 seats, all available for you.
I can't wait. I think it's going to be rocking. My family's coming in, and my kids have heard stories about the Sea of Red and what that looks like, so I'm excited for them to see it.
They're going to see it this week.
Yep.
It's going to be fun. There's a 1-0 pitch to Tommy Edman. On the ground into the shift. That's the shortstop, Alcantara. And the Cardinals go 1-2-3. Midway through 3. 1-0 St. Louis. The T-Mobile coverage cam and the view at Wrigley Field in Chicago with Rick Ankiel, Jim Hayes. I'm Dan McLaughlin. We're here in St. Louis at our Bally Studios. One more road game after today. That's tomorrow. Cardinals have an off day on Monday, and then they will return home and face Milwaukee Tuesday night. Adam Wainwright is scheduled to make that start for St. Louis. Tomorrow, Jake Woodford and Keegan Thompson. Here's Alcantara, and that's strike 1. And again, Cardinals looking for their 15th consecutive win, which would set the all-time record in Cardinals history, well beyond 100 years of baseball. It's never happened before. They tied the 1935 club with a sweep of the doubleheader yesterday. 14 consecutive wins. The 0-2 pitch. Ooh, just off the plate.
Tell you what, Lester looks very confident today. His body language looks like he's got it going on.
It's the way he's been pitching. I'd say the last 3 weeks, the confidence, the body, the mannerisms. The 1-2 spoiled, but he is just pounding, Rick, the outside corner with these right-handed hitters, and there's just not a lot you can do with some of these pitches. You're going to roll over it, you're going to swing through it, or try to punch it through the right side.
It's hard to, he doesn't fall into patterns very much, and you go out there and try to cheat, and then he busts you in with a cutter. Reminds me of Al Leiter.
There's a cutter down and in. We talk about falling into patterns, and it's amazing when you start going to look at his four-seamer, the two-seamer, cutter. He'll mix in a curve. The change, the percentages are all over the board game to game. So if you're trying to look at video and get the numbers on him, he's a different guy every fifth day.
Every fifth day and every at bat. That's, you know, that's the thing. You don't, there's nothing to fall into in that beyond I'm going to try to cover the inner half of the plate or I'm going to try to cover the outer half of the plate. That's basically all you can do.
3-2 and a base hit. And that's one over the center of the plate and knocked for a base hit to left. Alcantara has the second Cubs hit. Adrian Sampson will be the batter. Cardinals anticipating the bunt. Goldie holding at first. Arenado is in at third. Arenado has changed the way that teams are bunting against St. Louis. He is so uber aggressive in trying to get the lead runner. I mean, you have to be sharp with these bunts. There he is coming into your screen, charging. Remember one of the first games we had this year, and I can't remember who was on the mound, but Arenado came flying down the line, and the pitcher was anticipating, well, he's just going to field it and go to first, and he throws a rocket to second to where the pitcher has to go back on his back and hit the deck.
I remember that. And it
right over his head.
And it shocked me too. And if you're not used to playing with him, that could shock everybody on the field.
Sampson squares to bunt again and bunts it towards first. That's where it's got to go. Goldie to Edmonds. Sacrifice is good. Next Cardinals Insider tomorrow. Dimitri Young a part of it. Also John Hamm pays tribute to Mike Shannon. Those stories more. Cardinals Insider that'll kick off our coverage of Cardinals baseball here on Bally Sports Midwest at noon. Wilson Contreras, 221 with runners in scoring position. Grounded back to Lester on the first pitch that he saw. 2 for 4 head-to-head against John Lester with a home run. The tying run in scoring position, 1-0 Cardinals on a Bader home run.
Contreras,
a little bit low.
Yep, Contreras impresses me with the young hitter too, because I feel like there are times where you see him trying to jump ship and hit home runs, but there's times too where he'll slow it down and hit the ball the other way and try to take a base hit in the RBI, and that's hitting at its finest.
Alcantara at second base. Lined and over to Young into the gap in left center, and the game is tied all the way to the wall. Bader quickly back into the infield. Alcantara scores, and we're tied 1-1.
Prime example there. He got a pitch to hit, but he wasn't swinging out of his shoes. That was a base hit swing, knowing there's a runner on second for an RBI opportunity, and he got it done. Lester trying to throw the backdoor cutter. Little lazy with it, just ended up over the middle of the plate, but he's not trying to hit that into the seats. That's just a good smooth swing.
Runner at second, and Frank Schwindel line to left. 13-game hitting streak on the line today for the Cubs first baseman. Scored 12 runs during those 13 games and 11 extra base hits. Swinging the bat well, and a strike on the inside corner.
Well, that pitch right there being called a strike is going to set up the rest of this at bat, because he's going to have to respect that cutter way in there. Now the outside of that plate is completely wide open for the pitcher.
And the 0-1 pitch by Lester going back in. Schwindel joined the Cubs on July 30th. And since that time, in all of baseball, he's second in slug, first in hits, third in average, third in OPS, and 30 extra base hits.
And crushes lefties. Absolutely crushes them.
344 average. Taken low, and it's 2 balls and a strike.
You know that Lester knows that. This is another situation. He's going to have to hit Lester's pitch. There's a base open on first, or you put him on first and try to go for the double play the next at bat.
The 2-1. That's the pitch there. Right-handed batters, you're just not going to do much with that pitch unless you're all out going to right field with it. But there's so much sellout with power and slug. Guys just roll over that pitch.
Yeah, you completely have to sell out that change up, down and away. I mean, as a hitter, you could maybe sell off for that early in the count. Now with 2 strikes, you got to go back to just trying to protect.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Held on to by Molina. Somehow he holds on, and it's a strikeout number 3 for John Lester. What a play by Yachty.
That's amazing. Well, that all comes back from that first cutter that got called a strike earlier in the account, in the at bat. He knows now anything coming in there, he's going to have to try to go for it.
Oh. He's going to have a bruise, but he's got a strikeout and an out.
I think the bruise will be worth it. That's a ninja catch. You didn't even see it. Love it. Him and Bruce Lee might have been the only 2 that could catch that one.
Wow. Runner at second and 2 outs. Here's Ian Happ. Off the plate and ball 1. Cardinals will have their big bats coming up. 2, 3, and 4. And they've been on a tear. Goldie, O'Neill, and Arenado now. Time is called.
Well, he struck him out on the first at bat on a changeup and went back-to-back changeups away. You seen that first pitch? He just stayed away again. It seems like they're trying to attack that area with Happ right now.
Hitting right around 350 in the month of September with 6 home runs, and he's driven in 18. A dangerous man at the plate. And Happ hits it past DeYoung into center field. Bader charging. Contreras will score. And Happ to second. Maybe a little overly aggressive there by Bader. Because now Happ is in scoring position.
Definitely a little over aggressive. If the throw would have beat him there, he would have looked like he would have got him. But like you said, is exact right when he goes to throw that ball, Happ can read the angle of that ball coming out of his hand. He knows that there's no chance the cutoff man can cut that off, and he just keeps running and walks into second base. I think Bader's moving so quickly. You know, sometimes as an outfielder, you might be even trying to throw a one hop where it looks like the first baseman could cut that off and still throw him out at second. But because you're in such a hurry trying to get it there, it comes out higher than you want it to.
Runner to second on the throw, but no air. So Happ in scoring position. Cubs have the lead 2-1. Here's Wisdom.
That'll get changed to an error, in my opinion.
The 1-0 pitch. 2 balls, no strikes. Wisdom struck out his first time up.
See Lester, he wanted that call, but there's times that he's getting it. He'll get one away and then he doesn't get away. He'll get one in and then he doesn't get it.
He got that one on Schwindel, which set up the rest of the at bat, but doesn't get it here on Wisdom. 2-0 the count. Inside, 3-0. Duffy on deck. And he walked him. Second walk issued by Lester. And Mike Maddox will come out, give him a chance to catch his breath, talk about the situation. Runners at first and second, and 2 outs. Duffy coming to the plate, and Duffy has already doubled. So 2 on and 2 outs. The Padres playing host to the Braves tonight. It was back on August 11th. The Padres were a season high 18 games above 500. August 11th is not that long ago. They've gone 11-27 since that time frame, and looking up the numbers, that's slightly ahead of the Orioles, but the second worst record in baseball to fall out of contention. Padres could be mathematically eliminated from the postseason. Lost to the Braves tonight, and the Cardinals win this afternoon. Phillies hosting the Pirates. Phils have won 8 of their last 10, and the Nationals are at Cincinnati. That's a night game. Eric Fetty and Vladimir Gutierrez going for Cincinnati. Philly 5 back, Reds 6, San Diego 7. Duffy takes a pitch outside, and Lester shows his frustration, glaring back into Gabe Morales, the home plate umpire. 1 ball and 1 strike.
It makes me laugh, but the technology can't keep up with the cutter. It draws a circle where the fastball would have been instead of where it ends up as why it cuts.
Pitch number 25 of the inning. Check swing did not go. The 2-1 pitch.
Good pitch, good take. By that cutter being a ball earlier in the at bat, that allows him to take that changeup. If not, it would look like the exact same pitch.
Two runners on, 2 outs, the 3-1. Duffy looks at a strike, and it's 3-2. Runners off with his next delivery. Cardinals jumped out to a 1-0 lead on a Harrison Bader solo home run. His 14th of the year, back in the second. That came with 2 outs. And Chicago is answered with 2 runs here. Runners go, 3-2 pitch, and a grounder. DeYoung up with it. And across the diamond, and holding on, it's Goldschmidt. They tied it, then took the lead. And coming up, Goldschmidt, O'Neill, Arenado. 2-1 Chicago. Saturday, October 2nd, 30,000 fans ages 16 and older take home their very own bobblehead of Cardinals first baseman Paul Goldschmidt. And the bobblehead also includes a photo frame connected to the base courtesy of Purina. Tickets at cardinals.com/promotions.
Well, they flooded him with off speed all yesterday. Today in his first at bat, he got 3 fastballs, but he did hit that 3rd fastball hard. If I'm the pitcher, I don't want anything out over, especially a fastball with the wind blowing out to right center. So let's see how he attacks him here. The old cat and mouse of the game.
So Sampson is allowed just one hit. Solo home run by Bader. Off speed. Little slider breaking ball taken low.
Yeah, my concern would be if I try to go away and it runs back on that outer half, he gets extended. Oof.
Goldschmidt on this trip, 11 hits, 4 home runs, and he has driven in 10. Notice this last night. Do you think he's off the plate a little bit more than normal?
It does appear to be that he is.
Might be the view of the camera too. Goldie, high fly ball out to left, and Wisdom under it. Just missed it.
Just missed it. Last night that would have been a homer, but with the wind blowing out to right center, it's going to carry to right center and to right. Anything to left is going to get knocked down.
The Cardinals 29 games ago put Tyler O'Neill sandwiched between Paul Goldschmidt and Nolan Arenado. And since that time, they have won 21 of 28. And in the last 25 games, 10 home runs, 26 runs batted in for Tyler O'Neill. And O'Neill chops it foul, and that's strike one.
Sampson got away with one there. He tried to go in, but that ball stayed over the middle of the plate. O'Neill just a little bit off of it.
10 home runs for Tyler here in the month of September. And the 0-1. O'Neill adds another. Out to deep left. Number 11 in the month of September. Out of Wrigley again. And we're tied 2-2. Tyler O'Neill with number 32.
The Canadian crusher. You can't go back to back. Lets the ball travel, gets in there, gets extended. As you mentioned, listen, it's getting knocked down when you go to left today, and he still hit it out of Wrigley again. That boy's a beast.
Man, oh man. Look at the reactions of his teammates. They're like, are you kidding me with this guy? 11th home run in the month of September, and they all have just been moonshots. Man, oh man.
I can tell you this as a hitter. When you miss the pitch he fouled off the first one, you're thinking, man, I just missed my chance to really hammer one. And then you get another one. Revenge at its finest.
Well, Nolan Arenado is seeing all these home runs, and the way things are going, he's saying, you know what? It's my turn now. And it might happen here. 2 balls and 1 strike on Arenado.
You know he wants in on the fun.
And he pulls it foul by Pop Warner and into the camera well. It's a thing. You try to go in on Nolan, and if he's thinking that you might go in, you better watch out.
You better watch out. And for me, watching that swing right there, that's the case where he really wasn't looking in, and that's why it got pulled foul. He got to it fast because it was just kind of a surprise on him. But when you're right, when he's thinking in there, that's where he can keep that fair. And see ya.
The 2-2 doesn't chase up. The most home runs in September by a Cardinal. Big Mac, 98, the summer of 70, but 97, 98, and 99. He had 15, 15, and 12.
Well, and with Tyler hitting that one, now he's only one behind. A little friendly, fun competition. Come on, Nolan.
And Arenado sends a fly ball into shallow center. Breaking back was Thompson, but comes in to make the catch. And Nolan is 0 for 2.
No, we're talking about the wind. You see him break back there with that crosswind. That fly ball right there is going to get held up. So that allowed him to make the adjustment to be able to come in and catch that ball. If it's no wind or just, you know, barely breezing and he breaks back like that, he's not going to be able to get in there to catch it.
There's Yadier Molina, fly to right his first time up. Cardinals with a pair of solo home runs, Bader and O'Neill. First pitch to Yadi, taken for a ball. Cardinals now with 44 home runs and still over a week to go in September. 44 in this month.
It's not how you start, it's how you finish.
Ain't that the truth? Molina hits it to short, taken there by Alcantara. He is homered, third straight game, 11th home run in the month of September, leading all major league players in homers in the final month of this regular season. We're tied at 2. Tyler O'Neill, another home run. Incredible stretch run for this club and O'Neill. That is number 32, and he's driven in 76 on the year. And it's tied the ball game up 2-2 as the Cardinals are trying to make it 15 consecutive wins and set the franchise all-time record.
That ball was absolutely hammered. The wind's not helping that one. It's pushing it down to still get out of the stadium. Stop it.
Good breaking ball and swung on and missed.
Only the second breaking ball we've seen today from him.
David Bodie at the plate, walked back in the second inning. And the 0-1 pitch. Good pitch on the corner, 0-2. Second time that O'Neill in as many days has put one out into the street. The 44th home run hit by the Cardinals this month, most in the National League, second most in all of baseball, trailing only Toronto, and they have 47. The 1-2 pitch. Bodie lines it to left. O'Neill is over, won't get there. Able to cut it off, and Bodie stops at first base. On base for the second time, a walk and now a single.
Good job by O'Neill getting that ball in quickly so Bodie couldn't take second base.
Trace Thompson grounded into an inning-ending double play with 2 runners on, back in the second, 0 for 1.
Well, you mentioned it earlier, partner. They just kept working him away yesterday. Did the same thing today. Got him to roll over a changeup into that 6-4-3.
Cardinals are one shy of their club record set in 1998. 45 home runs in the month of September. And the 1-0 pitch down the left field line and foul. Well, what are you thinking? What do you go with here on?
Well, I was just thinking that you see the ball over the middle and on the inner half. You've seen how fast Thompson's hands were. So obviously that's why they're attacking him away. You're still looking for a ground ball double play right here. I'm going back away. Something down. I want him to ground out.
Out of play.
I might go back to the changeup here. That's what I got him to roll over last time. Why not?
Got him on the inside corner, and strikeout number 4 for Lester.
Well, it looks like Thompson was thinking the same thing. I think they're going to try to go away here. He got froze there on that inside cutter. Great pitch by Lester.
So you have the 8th place hitter here, Sergio Alcantara, singled to left and came around to score. And then Adrian Sampson.
This is where you really want to get this guy out, lead off with the pitcher next inning.
Get that double play here and see if you can't get him to roll over on it.
On the base hit he got, he threw a cutter that just stayed over the middle of the plate. Wasn't really a good pitch.
He's 9 for 56, Alcantara, against the lefties. That's a 161 average. The 1-0. Little check swing, slow roller, tough play. Tommy Edman, and not in time. Excuse me, swing, and it's a base hit. Past Lester, and nothing that Tommy could do. That was awfully close at first. Mike Schilt has the attention of the umpires. Initially, I thought he may have gotten him. Well, it looks like he's in there.
Good play by Tommy, hustling over there. You want to be careful right there. You're trying not to throw it 100 miles an hour because you're so close to Paul Goldschmidt, but knowing that you need to get rid of it quickly, that's a tough play when you're in that short distance.
Runners at first and second, clearly safe, and Adrian Sampson will be the batter.
You see Goldschmidt there knowing that that's what's about to happen. He looked like a hockey goalie, making sure he was ready for anything.
Bunting, Arenado, bobbles, and the bases are loaded. Nobody at second base, and you can see Nolan, he wanted to go there initially.
We'll have to see this replay here. I actually thought that he was almost trying to spin all the way around and throw it back to third base.
You know, you're probably right because, they've got the wheel play on essentially to try to get that lead man, and nobody at second base, so it'll be an error on Arenado, and the base is loaded. What a chancy play that was too, with a little shovel pass.
He's just aggressive, and he would have got him. I mean, that's, there's not many third basemen that can pull that play off. Just bobbled it quite a bit.
It's a sack and an E5 on the play. The bases are loaded for Wilson Contreras. This is a big spot in the ball game right here. Contreras with 21 home runs. He's already doubled today. This season with the bases loaded, he's 1 for 9. He does own 3 grand slams in his career.
See what he does. Runner in scoring position last at bat. He did a really good job of just taking a smooth swing, making solid contact. Didn't try to go for the home run. Bases loaded. Let's see what approach he uses.
Snaps a streak of 6 straight games without an error by the Cardinals. And the 0-1 pitch. Infield in a step or two. Outfield straight away. Steps out, 1 ball and 1 strike. Cardinals 210 batters faced with the bases loaded, most in baseball. Contreras, if you're wondering, is grounded into 10 double plays this year. The 1-1 pitch up the middle and a base hit. A run will score. Alcantara held up. And the Cubs back on top 3-2.
Lester trying to get that cutter away to get the ground ball double play. Just cut over the middle of the plate. Contreras again being a smart hitter. Didn't try to get too big. Drove the ball up the middle for the base hit. Bader having a little bit of trouble getting a grip on it, or the next runner might have been sent, but because of where he is, how fast he comes in to cut the distance from that ball, that third base coach has to hold him up there.
And now it's Frank Schwindel. 0 for 2. He is lined out to left and struck out on that swing that was basically a check swing tip into the body of Yadier Molina. Bases loaded, 1 down, and Schwindel hits a fly ball into shallow center. Catch made by Tommy Edman. Runners stay put, and a big out. That's number 2.
Well, we talked about this last night too. When the infielders are moving back like that and you have a runner tagging up at third, that's where they could possibly take a chance to score if the infielder gets it, because his momentum is taking him away from the play at home plate and the center fielder is not charging in to come take that play.
Alcantara was not tagging up. He was going about halfway.
Yep. Which to me, I mean, with 1 out maybe, but when you're at third base, if the ball drops, you're going to score anyway. He should have been tagging up on that play.
So the bases are loaded and 2 outs. Ian Happ had a 2-out RBI single to center back in the third. Can Lester get out of this with just 1 run scored against him? First pitch is strike. No one throwing in the St. Louis bullpen. John Lester, his spot for the Cardinals, is due up 4th in the 5th inning. The 0-1 pitch. Taken high, 1-1.
I like that pitch by Lester. You got to change the eye level of the hitter sometimes. He's been working down in the zone a lot today.
And the 1-1. Big rip and out of play.
Changeup right there. He got a pretty good swing off on that. He did strike out on the changeup in the first at bat. Looked like he might have been looking for that one.
The 1-2. 2-2.
If I'm Lester, he got that good swing on the changeup off. I'm going to try to jam him in with the cutter in right here.
Let's see what he comes with here. Big pitch, bases loaded, 2 outs, 3-2 Cubs in the bottom of the 4th. The 2-2 just off the plate, full count. Well, if Happ would get aboard, you got to think then about getting somebody up, I would think. And if not, you move on. We'll see. Bases loaded, 3-2. Popped up right side. Goldschmidt over and out of play.
Well, he went backdoor cutter and then to the changeup. That's the optics of it. It's a good pitch. He didn't make the best pitch with that changeup right there, but Happ doing a good job of hanging in there and fouling that off.
Again, the 3-2 pitch to Happ. Doesn't get the call on the outside corner. And a bases loaded walk by John Lester to make it a 4-2 Chicago lead.
Man, that's a great pitch out there. You know, he's getting it sometimes and then he's not getting it. I mean, that's a tough place to be, because you know, usually the umpire will establish his own and then you know where you can go, but all of a sudden he's being inconsistent.
Well, since 1974, the Cardinals have now set a dubious record. They have set a new major league record. That's their 29th bases loaded walk, which surpasses the Seattle Mariners. And that's a record you don't want to be a part of.
No.
29 bases loaded walks, and you get Patrick Wisdom, popped his 28th home run last night. Today he has struck out and walked. He is 0 for 1. Kwang Hun Kim begins to throw for St. Louis in the bullpen.
And I'm not making excuses for Lester, but Gabe Morales back there has just been inconsistent with his own. And if you're somebody like Lester who sets guys up, moves around, moves the ball around, cuts it, sink it, you're going to have a hard time with a plan of attack.
And Wisdom, a swing and a miss. He chased a ball. The all-time record back in 1944, the Brooklyn Dodgers walked 31 with the bases loaded. Wisdom is 4 for 11 with the bases loaded this year. 1 ball and 1 strike. 6 for 16 in his career. Next pitch, number 80 for John Lester, so this may be it one way or another. The 1-1, and Wisdom hits it softly to Tommy Edman. And the Cubs have regained the lead. 4-2 Chicago. St. Louis Cardinals baseball on Bally Sports Midwest. Brought to you by Ford, the official car and truck of the Cardinals. And by Steel. Find your Steel dealer at steeldealers.com. Harrison Bader is homered for the Cardinals today. They have 2 hits, 2 home runs. Back in the second, 1-0 Cardinals. StatCast powered by Google Cloud as Bader popped his 14th of the season.
Good to see him having fun. Good to see him driving the ball to right center, too.
You could read the lips of John Lester as he was walking off the mound and questioning the strike zone. The home plate umpire, Gabe Morales, essentially saying, I got to have that. I got to have that. Talking about the 3-2 pitch that resulted in a bases loaded walk for Ian Happ. And now Sampson back out there, the starter for the Cubs. Here in this 5th inning, Bader, Newbar to Young. We'll see how it plays out. You know, Lester did not get the handshakes yet. His spot is due up 4th, but if you got a chance to score, maybe the Cardinals then at that point go to their bench. And if not, you're looking at maybe squeezing one more inning out of John Lester.
And the issue is that he has had it today. And he's in a situation where he needs weak contact or strikeout. The bases are loaded. He can't just float one in there and let somebody hit one 8 rows deep. And you've already called it a strike.
And Bader takes a pitch inside. He's hitting .321 when leading off an inning this season. So the 2 hits, a Bader home run, O'Neill his 32nd. And the 1-0. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Well, I guarantee you he wants that one back. He's been swinging a hot bat. That was a good pitch to hit.
And the 1-1. Slider in there for a strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Looks to be a packed house today at Wrigley Field. Bleachers are full. Big crowd. Over 30,000 for game 2 yesterday. And the 1-2. Bader hits it sharply to third. Long throw. Duffy not a chance to get Harrison Bader. Be another infield hit, and he's 2 for 2.
As soon as it took that extra hop and his feet, the third baseman's feet hit the grass, Bader was safe at first. There was no chance. Right there. As soon as he gets to the grass, it's over. Bader's safe. It doesn't matter if he'd got a great throw off or not.
There's Lars Newbar, fly to left. 0 for 1. I don't know about you, Hank, but there are times this year you'd be midway through a game and the Cardinals down 4-2, and you thought, how are they going to generate offense? How are they going to get back in this game? Now I'm wondering who could be the hero in this game today. That's just the way things have been going.
You know what's funny? I was thinking the exact same thing in between innings. There's no panic. There's no feeling in my stomach like, oh, man, here we go again. It's like, all right, at some point they're just going to start going off.
The 1-0. 2 balls and no strikes. DeYoung on deck, and then Lester's spot. Nootbaar with 5 home runs and 4 have been hit away from Bush. The 2-0.
And for the Cubs, I mean, no offense against them. They got some young guys trying to see what they can do. But you look at the bullpen, and there's nobody down there that you think, man, if the Cubs have the lead getting into the 7th, they're going to be able to lock this down. The Cardinals offense, with the confidence they have, but looking at it, they know that they're going to have a chance to score every inning.
Big lead by Bader at first base. 2 balls, 1 strike on Lars Nootbaar. Taken low.
Great take. I've been impressed with Lars' at-bats today. The 2 home runs yesterday, him being young, really getting in there, trying to get a good pitch to drive. He knows he's in a situation right now where the pitcher's looking for a ground ball, so he's looking for something up that he can hit a line drive or get something in the air.
Change up on 3-1. Cardinal rookies with multiple home runs in a game at Wrigley. There's been 4 all-time. Les Bell, Johnny Mize, St. Louis native, Bernard Gilkey back in '91, and Lars Nootbaar last night. Bader, the runner at first base. He is running on the 3-2. Swung on and missed, and a throw to second, not in time. The stolen base for Harrison Bader.
Well, that's back-to-back 3-2 counts that Lars has got into, and Sampson's throwing him a changeup. Contreras mad at himself because he didn't get a throw off that he wanted to. One hot throw. He still almost got him, though. We know he has a rocket, especially with Harrison Bader's speed. That's a good play all the way around.
First stolen base for Bader since July 27th at Cleveland. And the batter will be Paul DeYoung. John Lester is at the on-deck circle. And ball 1. Cardinals have been outstanding first 3 games of this series with runners in scoring position. 9 for 17. DeYoung struck out looking his first time up. The 1-0 pitch. Ground ball left side, taken there by Duffy. 2 outs. While we have a moment, quick word from Ryan Kelly.
The only thing faster than the supersonic golf cart is the 21-day closing guarantee. Only available at thehomeloanexpert.com.
We had the doubleheader yesterday, Rick, and I wonder if that plays a little part into what's happening here. To let John Lester hit down by 2, and you're only in the 5th inning. You know, you've got to think about the now, but also a little bit about tomorrow. And Jake Woodford going tomorrow. But you do have the off day coming up, and that will be on Monday as that ball gets away and Bader advances to 3rd.
You do, and I think one thing that you brought up just a moment ago is that The Cardinals offense has been red hot. So you're thinking you're going to be able to come back in striking distance. And like you said, you're thinking about tomorrow. You do have the off day, but you can get some more innings out of John Lester here. And I think that's part of the decision too, trusting the Cardinals offense.
Lester will have Duffy, Bodie, and Thompson coming up. Runner at third and a 1-0 pitch to Lester. 2 balls and no strikes. Lester a chance to help his cause. The 2-0.
You know, I think too, partner, Dillison's wrist, Carlson's wrist is a little bit sore. Sosa we know is not available. So you got Rondon and Kiz and Carp. You really don't want to use Kiz, not this early.
The 2-1 pitch to John Lester. Same pitch, same result, 2-2. It's a very good point. Sosa's out. Carlson, maybe a little uncertainty. Kisner, you're not going to spend, so that gives you Carpenter and Rondon left on your bench.
And you're looking later in the game, like, with that Cardinal offense, there might come a situation where maybe you got 2 or 3 on.
The 2-2. Ooh, kept in front by Contreras.
Can you imagine what's going to happen if he rings Lester up on a borderline pitch?
Oh boy. And the 3-2 to John Lester. Got him. The strikeout 2 in the inning, 4 today for Adrian Sampson. Cardinals Kids Club, presented by Rawlings, the exclusive fan club for kids 13 and under. 2021 membership includes a fleece blanket, wall sign, pencil pouch, voucher for a couple of tickets, all for just $28. Cardinals.com/Kids Club. We check in with Jim Hayes. Go ahead, Jim.
Danny Edmundo Sosa not in the lineup today as he deals with a sore right wrist. Sosa got hit by a pitch in game 1 yesterday. Mike Schultz says initial x-rays showed no fracture. Schultz told me today he's still expecting Sosa to miss about 3 to 5 days. Schultz said a little better today. He's sore. He got hit pretty good. He came in on the early bus to get treatment and says he's doing a bit better. Schultz said people heal a little differently, so we're going to take it day by day. Danny, that was scary stuff, though, when Sosa got hit by that pitch.
So no fracture, huh? He's all right in that regard.
Sure, and they're just going to keep an eye, and they say he's feeling a little bit better day to day.
All right, Jimmy, thank you, and aren't we all? Duffy, Bodie, Thompson against Lester, and that's hit in the air out to left, and it's off the ivy. Played perfectly by O'Neill, and a strike back into the infield, holding Matt Duffy to a single. Duffy now 5 for 9 against John Lester. That was a rope.
He got the head out quickly. Lester, just to me, when I'm watching him against Duffy, he just hasn't been able to make good pitches, and sometimes that happens against a guy. I know I had problems with Vladimir Guerrero and Richie Sexton. Just the harder I tried, the more I'd leave one over the middle of the plate.
Here's David Bodie, who has walked and singled and scored. Well, you mentioned Vladimir Guerrero. Hank, don't feel too bad about not being able to get him out. He's only in the Hall of Fame.
No,
so
I
you
don't.
and a bunch of others.
I don't. But it was one of those guys where I just couldn't make a pitch. I think I would try so hard I'd over grip it, my grip would get a little bit tighter, so it would flatten the ball out, and I'd leave it over the middle of the plate, and he would not miss it.
Guerrero right now with 46 home runs. The top home run hitter along with Salvador Perez. In all of baseball, those two tied with 46. And it's 1-2. Shohei Ohtani 45. Marcus Semien, what a year he's had. He's got 42, and then Fernando Tatis Jr. with 41. First 5 players to reach 40 home runs. All were born in different countries. It is a world game.
So good for the growth of the game.
The strikeout for John Lester catches the corner, number 5 today.
Well, maybe Lester drawing back to him a little bit is going to start getting him that outside corner. That's a good pitch.
Trace Thompson has grounded into a double play and also was called out on strikes. And a ball taken outside. Thompson 0 for his last 8. Cubs manager David Ross is very close with Cardinal pitcher John Lester. Cubs had an off day on Monday, and David Ross said he was watching the Cardinal feed in the game, and he said, I rooted for the team in red. Felt strange. He had a big smile as he was saying that, but said, I'm really happy for John. Everyone's been following him get to 200, and said, I was hoping he'd get it before he got to Wrigley. And he did.
That's great. I played with David Ross in Atlanta. Great guy.
Two balls and 1 strike.
When I watch Trace Thompson, he just looks like he's trying to pull everything. You see that first move, the hip fly open, the shoulder fly open. Even balls that are over the middle of the plate that he's hitting, he's just pulling them foul. So you can see why they're attacking him away.
6-4. Can't get the 3. Close to being a double play. Brings in Alcantara.
He's either really aware of where he was right there or almost shut it down a little bit too early and got
Yes, he did. A little stutter step there. Last time a team, Cardinals franchise history, won 14 in a row, 1935. That year we were introduced to the first paperback book. Saw Mickey Mouse in color for the first time. And the Cardinals won 14 in a row. The 2021 Cardinals have matched that. 9 straight wins on the road. First time that has happened since August of 2018. 1935, we didn't even know who Stan the Man was. Red Schoendienst, Gibson, Brock, Ozzie. Pickoff at first and back in safely.
If you get back picked by Yadier Molina, you're just not paying attention to baseball. Seriously.
Can't happen.
No. I don't care if you're a rookie or not.
One of the all-time greats at doing that. And the numbers bear that out. The 1-1 pitch. Just a bit low. This great run for the Cardinals began on September 11th. 9 road games, 5 home games. The winning percentage of the opponents they faced, Cincinnati, the Mets, San Diego, Milwaukee, and now Chicago, was above 500. 35 team, the opponents who was below 500. Late swing and a miss, and now it evens it up at 2-2. Talked about it before, but Dizzy, Paul Dean, they were winners of half of those games. And in this run, it's been Hap, Michaelis, Waino, Lester, Woodford, Flaherty. The 2-2 off the plate and a full count. That 35 team would finish with 96 wins, but 4 shy of the Chicago Cubs, who won 100 that year. And in their stretch of baseball, they won 18 of 19, and this isn't good, as the medical team is going to check on Lester here. That's Adam Olson coming out.
I see when you go back on that pitch, you see a little grimace after he threw that pitch. And if you look at his shirt too, you can see a little bit of bruising, and that's from cupping. They use that to get some blood circulation back up into some certain areas, and I wonder if maybe he was feeling a little something before the starter, if that's routine maintenance. But certainly after that pitch, you can see him make a move that didn't look right.
Kim is ready to go in the bullpen. He's up for the second time. Lester's trying to make his case to stay in. Cubs do have activity in their bullpen with the pitcher spot on deck.
Yeah, you see over the left shoulder, you can kind of see some bruising. Every now and then when the camera zooms in, you'll see it a little bit kind of running down the left shoulder. And that might be just routine maintenance, getting ready for stuff.
There's the cupping that you talked about there, kind of on the left side of the back of the neck. Yep. What does that do?
You'll bring blood to the area. They use it for, different things.
Kind of loosen you up a little bit.
Get some circulation moving in there. Flush out some toxins.
One thing about that team in 1935, they only had 2 road games in that 14-game stretch, and the Cardinals have had 9. Three-two pitch, Alcantara. And he hits a fly ball down the right field line and out of play. Undoubtedly, this will be Lester's final inning. He's approaching 100 pitches today. Cardinals will have the top of their lineup coming up. The watchful eye of Mike Schilt. Another 3-2 delivery. Alcantara, a swing and a miss. Ends his day with a strikeout and 6 this afternoon. Tommy Edman leads it off when we come back. It's 4-2. Jake Woodford going for St. Louis tomorrow. Last time out, matched up with Brandon Woodruff. That was Tuesday in Milwaukee, and a 2-1 win against the Brewers. 5 scoreless, struck out 5, collected a single as well. That was one of just 5 hits the Cardinals had in that game. And he is emerging as a reliable starter for St. Louis as the Cardinals are checking on John Lester. Mike Maddox there. Adam Olson of the medical team on the right behind Lester, and then Mike Schilt as well. So 5 innings from Lester today. And Sampson pitching into this 6th, and he'll get the top of the St. Louis lineup. Tommy Edman, Paul Goldschmidt, and Tyler O'Neill. Cardinals, their 2 runs have been scored with solo homers. Harrison Bader, his 14th home run in the 2nd. Tyler O'Neill, home run number 32 in the 4th. Sampson at 71 pitches. Tommy Edman 0 for 2. He struck out swinging. Sampson has struck out 4 today. No walks, 3 hits allowed, 2 runs. Edman also grounded into the shift. And the first pitch to Edman. Taken for a ball outside.
He's gotten him out with the changeup twice. The first time he struck him out. The second time Tommy tried to stay back on it, couldn't, just rolled it over to second. You see him going away again with the fastball. Comes a changeup again. See what Tommy does.
Takes it for his strike. Six players in the game, 50 or more extra base hits, 25 or more stolen bases. Tommy Edman, one of them, grounds it into the shift again. The shortstop Alcantara makes the play.
Well, they stuck with it. That was another changeup.
Adam Wainwright's plea has been heard. You, the fans, packing the stands. Final homestand of this regular season begins Tuesday night with Adam Wainwright on the mound. And for a limited time, you can purchase tickets against the Brewers for just $5. Friday night, Cubs, $10. Portion of the proceeds from each ticket sold goes to Big League Impact. Details, Cardinals.com/Wainwright. And a ball to Paul Goldschmidt. Goldie is lined out to left and fly to left. 0 for 2. We're in the top of the 6th. 4-2 Chicago. The 1-0 pitch. .335 in the second half for Paul Goldschmidt. Got to wonder if he is now getting into conversation potentially of MVP with this second half flourish. Really, it's been about a 4 to 5 month flourish. Good take. 2-1.
I think it all depends on how they finish up, right? How he keeps going.
The 2-1. Just a bit low. 3-1. And the red hot Tyler O'Neill on deck. And so to your point, the start of our telecast, okay, who do you want to deal with? 3-1 to Goldie. You put him on, all of a sudden, one swing by O'Neill, the game is tied. After that, it's Arenado. This trio has become a force. 3-2.
He went after him. This is the first time I've seen Goldie foul off a pitch to hit in feels like 3 weeks.
The MV3s, 2004, Albert at 46 and 123. That's into the press box at Wrigley.
You know, if I'm the pitcher, I'm going after him because home runs can be rally killers, and I don't want him on base creating havoc. If you're going to hit it out, hit it out. If not, I got a chance for one of my defensive guys to make a play.
A 3-2. Goldschmidt chops it left side on a short hop. Duffy, and a nice play. So 2 down, and it brings in O'Neill. The Nissan drive of the game, second time in as many days he's hit it out of Wrigley. He's up to 32 home runs and 76 runs batted in. The Nissan drive of the game. Sure, I want to even high five with him. He might break your hand. His hard hit rate is 53%. Only Tatis and Josh Bell are better right now than Tyler O'Neill. The average has jumped up to 281.
You know, you talk about cat and mouse, and you know he's already hit that fastball in out of the stadium, and they're going back in there again.
1 ball and 1 strike. That home run back in the 4th. He is 11th here in the month of September to lead all of baseball.
And I say that because if I'm a hitter and I've hit a fastball in from you out of the park, I'm really taking that pitch out of the equation and looking somewhere else.
And O'Neill hits it in the air out to center. Trace Thompson coming in, and he'll make the catch. Cardinals go quietly here in the top of the 6th. So Sampson is through 6. Cubs on top 4-2. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Cardinals, not to be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. Rick Ankiel, what'd you see from John Lester today?
Well, I thought he made some great pitches today. The inconsistency of Gabe Morales behind the plate, I think, really gave him trouble. He made some, pitches in big moments that could have had a different outcome. And I think that this is what you're going to see from him. He made pitches. Sometimes you're going to get that where maybe you don't get the calls that you want, but, he was right there where he wanted to be. I thought that was a good performance.
And now the Cardinals turn it over to Kwang Hyun Kim, our Chevy called to the pen. And this is Austin Romine, the pinch hitter. So Sampson out of the game, and it'll be up to the Cubs bullpen.
And you go back to the sun ball from O'Neill, the sac play that Arenado tried to make, and they bobbled it. So you got to put those two into account too.
Past Arenado and into left field. And a leadoff base hit for Romine.
Oh, tough little short hop right there. Romine, who doesn't have great speed, though, so if Arenado comes up with that, he might have a chance to throw him out at first.
So Kim began this year in the rotation, multiple times on the injured list. Last 3 relief outings, he's given up 5 hits and a home run. Contreras 2 for 3 with a double and a single, and he's driven in a pair. Ground ball could be 2. Arenado, the turn by Edman, double play. 5-4-3 double play, and the second turn by the Cardinals this afternoon.
Nice work by Kim there. Pitch down in the zone. You hit it to the wrong guy. Arenado making sure he got that play made. Nice double play by the Cardinals.
Here's Schwindel. Came up with the bases loaded in the 4th and 1 out. Popped out to Tommy Edman. After that, it was the borderline pitch. Did not go Lester's way. 3-2 on Happ. That brought in a run. And Schwindel takes a ball low. 0 for 3 today. Line to left. Struck out. And the pop out to Tommy Edman. Schwindel has had 3 different hitting streaks of at least 8 games this season. First to do that by Chicago since Hayward and Rizzo in 16. Chases a ball up on a 2-0. Molina pounces on it and got him. Yachty spinning and throwing. What a play. Wow. Cardinals baseball on Bally Sports Midwest, brought to you by St. Louis Children's and Washington University Physicians, doing what's right for kids. And by Budweiser. This Bud's for you. Cody Hoyer is in to pitch for Chicago. 4-2 our score. John Lester, 5 innings. Gave up 4 runs, 3 of which were earned. O'Neill, another home run. Sampson, 6 innings. Contreras 2 for 4 with a double, a single, a run scored, drove in a pair. And it'll be the heart of the St. Louis lineup. Nolan, Arenado, Molina, Bader to face Hoyer. Chevy called to the pen. Nolan Arenado 0 for 2 is popped out to second, also fly to center. The Cardinals with 3 hits today. 2 of the 3 solo home runs. And there's ball 1. The Gateway Honda home run inning. Cardinals hit a home run. The Gateway Honda dealers donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri. Slider 1-1. And the 1-1 pitch. Another slider. 2 balls and a strike. Want to go in. Watch out. The 2-1 pitch here to Nolan. Fastball at 95 down the middle.
He got lucky it was out there down the middle. Coming out of the hand, that looks like the 2 sliders he just saw. Probably what made him hesitate and not swing at it. It wasn't really a good pitch to hit anyway, but if he'd have got that ball in and up, I think Nolan would have been on it.
The 2-2 pitch to Nolan Arenado. Arenado with a drive into left at the wall, and it's off the ivy. Nolan to second, and it's a leadoff double for Nolan Arenado, somehow avoiding the tag. Oh my, was that close?
Great
a strike from Wisdom.
Great athletic slide by Arenado there, pulling the hand out at the last second there to try to make sure he can't get that tag on there. He's in there.
Oh, wow. Barely. And the Cubs do not challenge. And the tying run will come to the plate in Yadier Molina.
But he tried to go back with that fastball. Got it up and in. Nolan ready for it all the way. He wasn't going to get beat by it, that's for sure.
Maybe off the end of the bat just a tad, but like we said, the wind's blowing out to right center, so that's going to knock that ball down, not help it carry to straight left.
And a ball upstairs to Molina, hitting .327 with runners in scoring position. We are in the top of the 7th. Cardinals down by 2 and trying to make it a club record 15 consecutive wins.
We were going with the slide step there and then throwing the changeup at the same time. Speed him up, slow him up all at once, trying to disrupt his timing.
The Cardinals 0 for 2 with runners in scoring position today. Cardinal fans chanting Yadi, Yadi. And the 1-1 pitch. 1-2. Harrison Bader on deck. The 1-2. Spoiled by Molina. It's Arenado's 6th season with 70 or more extra base hits.
Woo!
The 1-2 pitch to Molina. Molina, base hit into center. Arenado is held up, and with that, it's hit number 2,111 for Yadier Molina. He is number 3 all-time in St. Louis Cardinals history in hits, behind only Lou Brock and Stan the Man. Hit number 2,111. 3rd all-time in Cardinals history.
Great swing by Molina. Mistake pitch by a young pitcher. You're in a pitcher's count and you're trying to get a fastball away and up. End up throwing it right down the middle to a veteran hitter like that. He's not going to miss a pitch like that, especially with a guy in an RBI situation.
Amazing. Known for the glove, the arm, the defense, and he's 3rd all-time now in hits in Cardinals history. A strike to Bader. Runners at the corners. Nobody out. Bader is homered to right center, his 14th of the year, and an infield hit. Nobody out for St. Louis.
This guy's got a decent slider when he throws a good one. Bader's going to really have to try to.
Bader, base hit into left. Arenado will score. Lead is cut to 4-3. 3-hit day, Harrison Bader.
Bader swinging a hot bat. Hoover, who has a good slider, he's shown it already. He tried to beat Bader with a fastball. Bader, quick hands, he's not going to miss that. I'm surprised Contreras and them go with the fastball there. You know, Bader sometimes, like anyone else, especially from that side, that three-quarter delivery that Hoover has, can get people to swing at that slider, breaking off of the plate. Tried to beat him with a fastball, no chance.
The double by Nolan Arenado. Off the wall and left. Single by Molina into center. Bader, the base hit into left, RBI, 3-hit day. And Lars Nootbaar coming to the plate. While we have a moment, quick word from Great Southern Bank.
Our customers rely on us for trusted guidance and support every day. We're honored that they've rated us the #1 bank in America according to Forbes. To find out why, visit us today.
TJ McFarland throwing for St. Louis in the bullpen.
Starting pitcher for the Cubs, Sampson, beat Lars with changeups away, but this guy has a fastball that doesn't move quite as much as Sampson, but it is running back out over the plate. Could be a good matchup for Lars.
9th 3-hit game this year for Harrison Bader. First pitch to Lars Nootbaar. And Nootbaar pops it foul and out of play. It was just last night the rookie put 2 into the bleachers at Wrigley.
Fastball over the middle of the plate. That's got him to snap that streak. Curveball hangs a slider. Sorry, the lefty hangs a slider, and Lars did not miss it.
The 0-1. The tying run in scoring position. Molina at second base. 1 ball and 1 strike. The RBI for Bader, 2 today. He's up to 48. The 1-1. It's that pitch there that tails away that he's had some issues with, but middle, inner half, better watch out.
Yeah, he's not missing those, but that's where they've been attacking him all day today. That changeup down and away.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Nootbaar, base hit. Here comes Yanni. The game is tied. 4-4. Nootbaar delivers.
You can hear the new. Great adjustment. They beat him out there. The 2 at-bats today. Before that, he stays in there, stays on it, drives it to left field for the RBI base hit. Nice job of hitting. You see the picture of it there. The head still staying back, making sure he's staying on that pitch out there away. Great job.
And Bader racing from first to third on a base hit to left. That's it for Hoyer. Could not get anybody out. 4 consecutive hits to start this 7th inning. And we've got a brand new game. We're tied up. 4-4. DeYoung to the plate. And the Cardinals looking to add on when we come back. The Chevy called to the pen. We saw him last night. Scott Efros is in. 9 pitches last night. And he will face Paul DeYoung with runners at first and third. Nobody out for St. Louis. They entered the 7th inning down by 2. They have tied it up at 4-4. Longest win streaks in franchise history. The Cardinals tied with the 1935 club. A win today, and it's an all-time record. Efros to face DeYoung.
Well, Dylan Carlson on deck for the pitcher, but I tell you what, partner, if the bases end up loaded right here, You know who's hitting for me?
Matt Carpenter.
No question about it.
The shadows a factor now at Wrigley this time of day. The first pitch to DeYoung. And strike one. Cardinals 3 for 5 with runners in scoring position. In the series, 12 for 22, but 3 key hits today. DeYoung is 0 for 2 as they throw over, and back in safely is Nootbaar, who has tied the game up with his base hit to left.
What a
Boyer
great
in relief of Sampson, who went 6 and could not record an out here in the 7th.
What a great at bat by Lars.
The 0-1 off the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike.
So the shadows right now, you know, you're standing in the dark, the ball's coming out of the light. It's still pretty close to you though, so you can see the ball pretty much all the way till the plate, so it's not as big of a factor as it will be in another 15, 20, 30 minutes.
Big gap in right center. Runners at the corners and a 1-1. And DeYoung sends it out to center. Backing up, making the catch, Thompson. Bader will tag up. 5-4 St. Louis here in the 7th.
That a boy, Paulie D. Swung at the first slider. Got patient, stayed back, got another slider he could handle. Sac fly situation, did a great job of getting the ball up, taking a really nice swing on it, and driving in the run.
Dylan Carlson will pinch hit for Kim. Nootbaar, good speed at first. TJ McFarland continues to throw in the St. Louis bullpen. Ball 1. Carlson has pinch hit 1 time this year, and he's 1 for 1.
Carlson, who's available, his wrist has been a little bit sore. If I'm him, you know, what I'm really want to stay away from is that high and tight fastball where I really have to manipulate that wrist and can tweak it again.
And back in safely is Nootbaar.
So if the pitcher stays away from me, he's just doing me a favor.
The 1-0. 2 balls and no strikes. Tommy Edman on deck. The Cardinals, a home run by Bader in the 2nd. Solo home run by O'Neill out of Wrigley in the 4th. His 3rd in as many games in this series.
With the wind blowing out to right center, a slider is just not a good pitch that's breaking into a lefty for this sidearmer.
The 2-0. Ooh, and it goes Efros's way.
Wow.
Well, he's not going to do anything with that pitch.
No, nobody is.
Cardinals now have scored 3 in this 7th inning to take the lead.
Shadows came in. He might need to switch lenses.
The 2-1 upstairs.
And that's the one right there. If that ball's a little bit closer to the plate, when your wrists are sore, you're trying to swing at that, that's where you can get hurt.
Three balls, 1 strike. Dylan Carlson, the pinch hitter. The next to the rookie. Full count. Inning started with 4 consecutive hits. Arenado, Molina, Bader, Nootbaar. And now 3 and 2 on Dylan Carlson with a runner at first base. The full count pitch. Spoiled.
Nice job. You see the pitch before, he was frustrated at himself that he chased the ball up out of the zone. Especially you get to 2 strikes knowing that the umpire called a ball that wasn't even a strike and you should have been in a better count. Out of your control though.
The 3-2 pitch. Nootbaar not running as he stops, and a strikeout of Dylan Carlson.
It didn't look like he just didn't get a good look at that whatsoever. That shadow could be a factor in there now.
Mention how the Cardinals have been scoring early but also late. Last 15 games, 43 of the 102, 7th inning or later. Some dramatic hits along the way. Now Tommy Edman, hitless today, 0 for 3. And a ball inside. Twice he has grounded into the shift and struck out.
Just like Nootbaar, they've really tried to work Edman away today with those changeup out over the plate, down and away. That last fastball there in might have been just for show, and they're going to go back to the outside corner.
Edman sharply to Alcantara. The Cardinals pick up 3, and in doing so they pick up a lead. Time to stretch. It's 5-4. 5-7-1 for St. Louis, 4-9-0 for the Chicago Cubs. The Cardinals turn it over to T.J. McFarland. And Rick Ankiel and our Chevy call to the pen. St. Louis isn't in this spot of the potential of postseason play, and certainly 15 wins in a row without Wade LeBlanc, Luis Garcia, Lester, Happ, and this guy T.J. McFarland.
He has been such a great addition. The bullpen has been fantastic in general, but the sinker, him, the ground balls, big situations, especially right now. We've been talking about this all game. The wind blowing out to right center. You want somebody who can keep the ball on the ground.
It's a scoreless inning by Kim in the 6th, and quickly done. And now McFarland to face Happ, Wisdom, and Duffy. Taken low, 2 balls and no strikes. McFarland has appeared in 8 of the 14 games since the 11th of September in this run. Called upon a bunch. The 2-0. Happ chops it left side. Arenado gets it, throws. It's a strike to Goldie for the first out.
Well, he reared back and let that one go. That was no sidearm sinker. That was four-seam love right there across the diamond.
StubHub proud to be an official partner of the Cardinals this year. If your plans change, you can easily list your tickets with StubHub. Even use our free seller toolkit. Help manage the price of your tickets. StubHub, sell your tickets a few taps of your phone without any stress. Download the StubHub app today. Patrick Wisdom, and a ball outside. He is struck out swinging, walked, and grounded out with the bases loaded to end a threat in the 4th. That ball that Arenado just threw was his hardest throw of the year. It's 90 miles an hour across the diamond.
You could tell he let that thing fly.
2 balls, no strikes on Patrick Wisdom.
Is that shadows, or does Wisdom have on 2 different cleats?
I feel like I'm watching the movie Best in Show. That's going to fly over the heads of some of the viewers that have never seen it. 3 balls, no strikes. And he walked him. 1-out walk here in the home half of the 7th. There's Matt Duffy. The Cardinals have turned 2 double plays today. Duffy has the double sun aided over O'Neill's. He lost it in the sun back in the 2nd, grounded out to short, and then a single off the left field wall played perfectly by O'Neill. And that's strike 1. Duffy, by the way, if you're wondering, is grounded into 14 double plays. The 0-1 inside. And it's a ball and a strike. Matt Duffy.
The shadows are starting to get into that point where it's definitely tough to see. And as the hitter, you can't really see the spin on the ball. It starts to come and it's just dark.
The 1-1 doesn't get that call. The strike zone indeed has been floating at times in this ball game. Two balls, 1 strike on Duffy. Ground ball left side, could be 2. Out there, the turn, double play. 6-4-3. The Cardinals have turned 3 double plays. And coming up, the 3-headed monster known as Goldie, O'Neill, Arenado. This trio has been remarkable. They're due up next. The 7th inning, the BJC Healthcare difference maker Nolan Arenado started with a double off the ivy. And that was just getting things going. Down by 2. Then Yachty became 3rd all-time in hits in Cardinals history with that single. Broke a tie with Rogers Hornsby. Bader, his 2nd run batted in the ball game. Lars Nootbaar going the other way to bring in Yachty. Cardinals would add a sac fly. Paul DeYoung, his 43rd of the year. And with that, the Cardinals had regained the lead. And now it's Paul Goldschmidt against Rowan Wick. Wick, a hard thrower, was in the Cardinals minor league system as a position player. And it's our Chevy called to the pen. The 1-0.
Going back to the breaking ball.
Fastball low. The 3-0 pitch. And it's taken for a ball inside. Some changes for the Cubs. Ortega moves to left field, coming off the bench. Patrick Wisdom going from left field to 3rd base. Duffy out of the game. And the new pitcher, Rowan Wick. The Cardinals trying to add on and trying to make history here today with their 15th consecutive win. And a fastball and a strike to Tyler O'Neill. Homer today, 32nd time. And it left Wrigley. Fastball low.
They need to take pitchers and let them hit when the shadows are about halfway in, so they understand what the hitter sees and what he doesn't, and it'd probably make them approach guys a little bit differently in this situation.
A shift on the left side of the infield. 1 ball and 1 strike on Tyler O'Neill. A slider, 1-2. The 1-2 pitch to O'Neill. Got him. A couple of good sliders there back to back and struck him out.
And that's the hardest thing to do, is recognize spin when it starts to get into those dark shadows and you can't see the spin. If the pitcher does a good job like tunneling, it'll look just like a fastball.
Blues hockey, it's back. Training camp underway. Season begins October 16th here on Bally Sports. And first up, Blues Wild preseason action tonight at 7. The Bally Sports app and ballysports.com. Nolan Arenado. Arenado hits it sharply to third. The turn, a double play. That'll send us to the bottom of the 8th. And the Cardinals clinging to a 1-run lead. St. Louis with a lead of 5-4 over Chicago as we go to the 8th. McFarland was able to get the double play last inning. And a scoreless 7th inning put up by T.J. McFarland. Bodie, Thompson, Alcantara for the Cubs in the home half of the 8th.
Garcia getting loose in the pen. That'll be a fun at bat in these shadows.
Sets up to have Luis Garcia potentially. And then you'd have Giovanni Gallegos. We'll see how it plays out. The Cardinals 6 outs away from history, which would be their 15th consecutive win. David Bodie has walked, singled and scored, and struck out looking back in the 5th. Pitch taken low. He's been falling behind on just about every hitter he's seen.
And that's what I meant earlier. Not that he's trying to or not, but I mean, I think if you actually see what the hitter's seeing in these shadows, you might realize you don't need to nitpick as much, and you can throw some balls more over the middle of the plate.
And that time he got him. 2 balls and 1 strike.
And I don't mean down the middle, but just quality strikes around the strike, in the strike zone.
For McFarland, that was the 10th ground ball double play that he induced, most among relievers since the All-Star break. The 2-1. Lined and fair down into the right field corner. Bodie to second. Bodie to third. The throw is not in time. A leadoff triple, David Bodie.
Tried to throw him a sinker, left it up in the zone. I couldn't see this on the camera angles we had earlier, so I was wondering if the ball just got stuck in the corner there for Lars when he was trying to get over there waiting for the ricochet to get to him, which allowed Bodie to get to third.
The infield is drawn in for St. Louis. Bodie, the tying run at third, and nobody out. The batter, Thompson, off the plate for a ball. The Cubs 3 for 8 with runners in scoring position today.
It's a good matchup for McFarland. Thompson, who just kind of seems to be pulling off of everything. McFarland can induce ground balls, get the best of them.
Cardinals will have Molina, Bader, and Nootbaar looking ahead to the 9th. And right now, McFarland trying to keep it a 1-run lead for St. Louis. His work is cut out for him with a runner at third and nobody out. Thompson 0 for 3 today. The 2-0. Missed down and in, 3-0. Sergio Alcantara on deck. He's got 2 hits today. Cubs now with 10 hits. The 3-0 pitch. Thompson swinging away. Boy, and you're right, he is pulling off of everything.
And to swing at that 3-0, I mean, I know it's tough to see with the shadows, but that's not a good pitch to hit, especially in that count.
(3-1) and he walked him. Mike Maddox will go visit. Second walk issued by McFarland. While we have a moment, quick word from Brown and Brown.
Brown & Brown is on the road too. So if you're injured in a car crash or hurt on the job, call us for free. In Missouri, dial all 3s. In Illinois, dial all 8s.
We're going to talk it over here with runners at the corners. Be interesting how you play the middle infield in this spot, Rick, with nobody out.
I was thinking the same thing.
You know, middle infield now is moving back a step or two. Then at that point, it's almost like conceding the run to get the 2 outs.
Right.
Not far as in as they were before. They were in on the grass. The corners obviously in. Goldie holding at first. That's Thompson. Bodie, the runner, at third. Alcantara at the plate. And that pitch taken low. Little surprised we haven't seen Garcia come into this spot. The 1-0. That's a strike. Garcia loose and ready when called upon. The 1-1 out of play.
If he gets the strikeout here, do you have to leave him in for the double play ball that can get you out of it?
Ortega, who came into the game in the top half of this inning, is on deck. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Out of play. Alcantara hitting 122 with runners in scoring position. Just 5 for 41. Pitch number 25, and instead a check on Thompson.
I like that. Make sure you keep him in check so you can keep the double play in order if you need it.
The 1-2 instead of check again on Thompson. Tommy Nance throwing in the Chicago bullpen. First and third, nobody out. The 1-2 popped up right side and into the seats at Wrigley.
McFarland with a guy on first and third. Now that the count's 1-2, you want the strikeout here and then go for the double play next at bat.
The 1-2, swing and a miss. He struck him out. And the all-important first out here in the home half of the 8th. A huge strikeout for McFarland.
Great pitch with the fastball in. Threw him the curveball the last pitch, but really dotted that. Nicely done.
The first strikeout for McFarland. Now it's Ortega. Runners at the corners and one out. He's a master at getting those ground balls in double plays. The Cardinals turned already one behind him. They've turned 3 today. The first pitch taken for a ball.
I'm going ground ball to second.
Does this maybe tell you by extending McFarland that Garcia potentially is your closer today? And Gallegos, Reyes unavailable. Genesis Cabrera. Ground ball right side, foul. I mean, they're really trying to extend him here, and that would make you think that big trio is probably unavailable, potentially.
Potentially. I was really looking, I wasn't looking at it like that. I was looking at the situation of the game right there. You had a runner on first, runner on third, ground ball pitcher up. You know, even if you traded the run for a double play, now you get one out. You still have the double play in order. You're trying to get out of it with a lead now.
Ortega is grounded into 3 double plays this year. Corners are in. And the 1-1. Ground ball. Goldie to the plate. Bodie is hung up between home and third. The tag by Arenado. They get that out. And now maybe 2. Back to Tommy Edman. He'll throw to third. It's a rundown. Molina. Bader is in it. DeYoung tags him out. And they get out of it. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. The Cardinals have a 1-run lead as we go to the 9th. You don't draw it up this way, but boy, do you take it. Remarkable. When you've won 14 in a row, sometimes crazy things, they just go your way. I have never seen this type of double play. So this is 3-2. That's Arenado. That's 5. Now he'll throw to Tommy Edman. That's 4. To 2. To 8. To 6. I've never seen it.
I mean, when it's meant to be, it's just meant to be sometimes.
I've never seen it. And when you're rolling, you're rolling. They're rolling.
They are rolling.
Here's Yadier Molina. His last time up, he made history, lost in all this. He was in a tie with Rogers Hornsby for 3rd place on the all-time hits list in Cardinals history, and now he's all by himself. The 0-1.
That was a wicked curveball.
Nance, an ERA over 13 in his last 5 appearances. 7 earned, 9 hits in 4 2/3. The chance of Yadi at Wrigley. And a fastball and a strike. The Chevy called to the pen. The Cubs will have the top of their lineup looking ahead to the bottom of the ninth. The 1-2. The 2-2 pitch to Yachty. Breaking ball lifted in the air. Out to right. Back and caught. Ian Happ up against the ivy.
Wow. The ball got up in that wind. I think it fooled Happ a little bit. He's usually a really good, solid outfielder right there. He gets fooled, just starts drifting, has to jump. Comes up with it somehow, though. Nice play. I guarantee you his heart's beating a little bit faster right now.
Now Bader. It's a 3-hit day for Harrison Bader. Solo home run in the second, infield hit, and laced a single, picked up an RBI and a run scored in the seventh. The 1-0 pitch to Bader. 1 ball and 1 strike.
I believe he hit that twice.
Well, my assumptions were correct as Luis Garcia, and he did hit it twice. Well, you're seeing a little bit of everything today.
I bet he can't do that again.
No, you couldn't. Luis Garcia is throwing, so that would be your closer today.
Yep. Yeah, I was thinking with 1 out, I'm still leaving McFarland because I want that double play ball. Now, if he would have got that second out and the run wouldn't have scored, I would have brought Garcia in then to get the strikeout.
Sure. Harrison Bader involved in the double play to end the bottom of the 8th. It's a play that we won't soon forget. The Cardinals have tied a season high by turning 4 double plays today. Bader 12 for his last 18. He is red hot. The 2-2. Bader, base hit.
This could be
13 for his last 19. Why not make it 2? On his way to second. He is safe twice. With the slide and back in. He's fired up. That's his 10th double this month to lead the league.
Well, you can't teach speed. As soon as I seen those outfielders where I knew immediately that that might be 2 because he's going to be going for it. Certainly he was. Great slide getting in there and a good job of getting back to the base.
It's a 4-hit day and a career high 4 hits for Harrison Bader. And the chance of Newt as Nootbaar will come to the plate. And the RBI single to left. Back in the 7th. First pitch to Nootbaar is taken for a ball, and Bader steals third.
I love the aggressiveness.
Nance never even looked at him. Bader steals it easily. And that is a huge run potentially at third base. Now the infield is drawn in for Chicago.
Newt made the adjustment on the changeup away last at bat. They've been really trying to attack him out there. Let's see what he does this time.
The 1-0. Outside, 2 balls and no strikes. Paul DeYoung on deck.
The infield for the Cubs, they're in, but they're not shifted near like they have been all game. All game they've been shifting pretty much to the right side, expecting him to pull.
The 2-0 pitch to Newbar. A breaking ball drops in for a strike. Harrison Bader now in September hitting .364. 10 doubles and 5 home runs. He's driven in 17. He's standing at third. And a chance for the rookie to add to the St. Louis lead. The 2-1 pitch to Newbar. In for a strike, 2-2. Newbar has been very good in this spot. Runners in scoring position, 8 for 22, a home run, and he's driven in 10. The 2-2 pitch. He got him, but the ball gets away. Here comes Bader, play at the plate. He is safe. He got the toe in. I don't know how. The throw beat him, and Bader scores.
The kid is feeling the flow.
I can't wait to see this replay.
I think he adjusted his feet at the last second to get in.
Planted his foot, slowed himself down, and then stuck it back in there to miss the tag. Here we go. We're going to get a chance to see it.
He sure did. He adjusted in mid-slide. Oh, my goodness.
You know how hard that is to do when you're moving that fast? He looks like he got a pair of ice skates on. But he got in there. What a play.
The Cubs will challenge. Did it get the strings of the glove? Maybe just the strings there of the glove may have gotten the back of the leg of Bader. And the strings are part of the glove. So that could be an out. The thing is, though, these plays, when you're kind of 50-50, it's the call on the field that stands. I mean, it's very tough to overturn it. Now they can enhance it, the video in New York, and maybe they see a string just graze the pant leg of Bader.
Everything I see, I don't see enough to overturn it from the views that we have.
It's a 2-run lead for St. Louis, and his reaction and those kids' reactions, that says it all right now in St. Louis.
He's fired up.
Wow. Took a chance with his speed to go to second, stole third, and steals a run for the Cardinals.
And a big run. Big insurance run on top of the ninth.
Here's DeYoung. DeYoung, a drive. Left center! Yes! Yes! DeYoung goes deep, and the Cardinal fans are going wild in Wrigley. Two-run homer, DeYoung. His second in as many days.
Are you kidding me? What is going on? Fastball up. Paulie D loves hitting at Wrigley to the trees. And finally we've seen him smile as he's rounding the bases. I've been waiting for that. Cardinals couldn't be having more fun right now.
Eight to 4 St. Louis. And now Carpenter.
Wow.
It doesn't get any better in regular season play than what we're witnessing right now. Ever.
It feels like the playoffs, doesn't it?
It's unbelievable.
Take that, Cubbies.
0-2 the count on Carpenter. And the 0-2 pitch to Matt Carpenter. And a strikeout of Carp. It's indescribable what's happening right now.
If I'm Carp, I think you want to be in the dugout celebrating with everybody. You didn't even really want that at bat.
Now Tommy Edman. Garcia continues to throw for the St. Louis Cardinals. 2 outs and nobody on. And during this 14-game winning streak, there have been so many memorable moments. And if they make it 15, this game might be at the top. A ball and a strike on Tommy Edman. He is hitless today, 0 for 4.
That's got some nasty run to it at 96.
Tommy hitless in his last 9. Curveball in there for a strike. The 1-2. Edman, bouncer, right side. A big inning for St. Louis and a wild one. Bader showing off the speed, his first ever 4-hit day. Avoiding a tag at second, stealing third, avoiding at the plate, and rejoicing in the dugout. DeYoung a bomb, and we're having some fun. The 8th inning, and it is crazy here. McFarland runners at the corners and nobody out. The Budweiser play of the game. He's able to get a key strikeout there, and then you may never see this again. A double play for the ages. That's out number 2, and here we go. Even Harrison Bader gets in the act. And Rick Ankiel, what can you say? It's Cubs, Cardinals. Sometimes things like this happen.
You can't make this up. Are you kidding me?
They're trying to make it 15 consecutive wins and set the Cardinals franchise record. Garcia in, top of the lineup. Strike one. And that's how we begin the bottom of the 9th. 8-4. The Cardinals lead it. Luis Garcia, a major reason why the Cardinals are in this spot. And they're 3 outs away from history. 2-hit day for Contreras. The 0-1 pitch. Check swing. Did not go. 1-1.
I have no idea how he held up on that. As hard as Garcia throws in these shadows, it's so hard to recognize spin. Somehow he recognized it, was able to hold up, but tough to do.
The 1-1 pitch. 1-2.
Just light him up with the high fastball again.
The 1-2 pitch. Missed outside. They were left for dead in June. Now on the cusp of 15 in a row, and the 2-2 taken just a bit outside. What a wild ride 2021 has been. Holy smokes. In this spot, though, obviously no walks. That is a key.
Up by 4, you got to give him a chance to hit.
A 3-2 pitch. And we'll do it again. This has turned out regular season wise to be, in many Cardinal fans' lifetimes, one of the most exciting regular season runs in the history of this franchise.
Incredible.
3-2 pitch. Out of play. Soak it in and enjoy it. Three-two pitch to Contreras. Hit out of play again.
Contreras doing a good job of battling here. 98, 99, 100. Garcia doing a good job pumping it in there, trying to let him hit it.
Another 3-2 by Garcia. Chopper. DeYoung. One away. That was not an easy play with the top spin on that baseball.
That was such a good play ball, Paul, right there. He gets short hop by there. As you mentioned, that top spin, when it takes that hop right there, it speeds up ×3 going up, but snags it, makes a great throw to get the out.
Frank Schwindel, 0 for 4, lined out to left, struck out, came up with the bases loaded and popped out to second and grounded out in front of the plate. First pitch taken for a strike. The 0-1 pitch. Nothing in 2.
Well, he definitely didn't get a good look at that slider. What do you think, partner? 100-mile-an-hour gas right here.
Elevated. Maybe a slider away. Ground ball slowly hit. Garcia flipped to Goldie. 2 away. They are 1 out away from history. 1 out away from their 15th straight win.
What a run this has been. What a game this has been. Close game, the dramatics at the end.
And still 1 more to go. 2 outs and nobody on. Ian Happ at the plate. Ball 1. Happ against Garcia, 2 for 3 with a double, and he has driven in 3. The 1-0 pitch. 1 ball and 1 strike. Many of the Cardinal fans on their feet at Wrigley. The 1-1. 1-2. Also, if they win this game, the magic number is down to 3. 1 strike away. The 1-2. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, I love doing the game with you, partner, but if there's one place I'd want to be, it's in that clubhouse if they get this out.
The 2-2 pitch. Garcia to Happ. Just missed. And the count runs full.
You got to give Happ credit for taking a professional at bat right here. You're down by 4 runs. The Cubs got nowhere to go. This is not an at bat you want. This guy's throwing 100. You could have easily came in here and just put it on cruise control for this at bat and given up.
3-2 pitch. And a fly ball lifted out to center. Bader will watch it go. It's a home run, and the Cubs are still alive.
Solo home runs do not kill you. So what? Good for Happ for staying in there with that professional at bat. Still 1 out away.
And it'll be the former Cardinal now, Patrick Wisdom. A pair of walks, grounded out with the bases loaded and struck out. Shift on the left side of the infield. And there's strike 1. It's now an 8-5 St. Louis lead. The 0-1 pitch. 1 ball and 1 strike. The 1-1. 1-2, and again the Cubs down to their final strike with 2 outs. Down by 3. And nobody on here in the bottom of the 9th. Can Garcia end it here and make history? Check swing. Did not go. And it's 2-2.
Ring him up.
A little smile by Garcia, shake of the head. Cardinal bench ready to pour out onto the field.
Stop delaying the gratification.
The 2-2. He got him! A called third strike to end it. For the first time in 129 years of St. Louis Cardinals baseball, it's 15 consecutive wins. It had never been done before until now. The 2021 Cardinals, they've won 15 in a row.
And what a way to do it in dramatic fashion. Bader just creating havoc out there, and to do it in Wrigley.
The remarkable ride continues. The magic number to clinch the second wild card, it's at 3. And what a game, and what a place to do it in. Wrigley Field in Chicago. The Cardinals are now 86-69. And this remarkable run continues. They'll go for 16 tomorrow, and a perfect road trip, and a sweep against the Cubbies. 8-5, the final. A historic win for St. Louis. And boy, are we having some fun in 2021.